Hey, I'm Grant. Let's talk about anime. Ghost in the Shell, the original hit movie from 1995. Although it wasn't just a hit here in Japan, it was also a hit all across the world. All of Asia loved it, all of Europe loved it, the United States in particular loved it, everybody loved it. Well, I don't see why not, because it is a cyberpunk movie, and everybody loves cyberpunk. And speaking of cyberpunk, ever hear of Cyberpunk 2077? Anyways, getting back to the movie. I've mentioned quite a few times that Ghost in the World's universe is one of my favorite universes ever. Not necessarily that I want to live in it, but it is just one of my favorite worlds that has been created. I'm a huge fan of it, and today we're going to talk about the original movie. So the movie pretty much follows is an adaptation of the original manga from the 1980s. It follows the story pretty well, talking about a hacker, even though it takes off all the fat that the manga has, and keeps the story pretty damn simple, and just keeps it on this hacker that is going around town and screwing up everything in Newport City. Alright, so what could I say about this movie? So I'm not going to do a complete analysis and what does it mean, all this other stuff that everybody seems to do. I'm just going to be talking about the movie, and the things that I like about it, and the things I don't like about it. Because yeah, there are things I don't like about it. I do like this movie, I do respect it a lot. It was one of the first films that I had ever seen, anime films that is. And I do appreciate it. I love a lot of things about it. I do love the aesthetic of it. I do love how the Newport City is actually very much inspired by Hong Kong, which is very apparent when you look at it. And, of course it does take place in actually Kobe, which is a part of Japan. So, that, all that stuff's pretty interesting. I like all that, the aesthetics and all that. The animation's terrific, the action, the goddamn fucking gore, which is just all over. It gets pretty damn violent in this movie. It lacks the personality that I miss from the manga, which the manga has very goofy moments, has very funny moments, and has that humor. And that seems to be something that's completely lacking in every single Ghost in the Shell product other than the manga. There are times, like in Standalone Complex, it gets a little goofy. Arise kind of has that humor to a certain extent. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it is there. And I hope they are doing a new Ghost in the Shell series that I can't wait to see. I hope they also have that humor. But for the most part, humor is completely absent from these movies, and especially in this one. The first movie is very serious the whole way through. Don't get me wrong, I'm okay with slow-paced storytelling, which this isn't really slow-paced at all, and I'm okay with no humor, but that is something kind of I wanted to see in the Ghost in the Shell movie. After all, I did read the manga first, and that's kind of what I expected, and when I didn't get that, I was kind of disappointed. So that may be a personal thing, but In terms of all the characters come back. Makoto Kusanagi still remains to be one of my favorite just protagonists in a sci-fi genre thing. Bato being one of my favorite just partner characters. All these characters I love. Section 9, they all make their return, and they all have their own role in the movie, and it is very fun to see them. It is cool to see them animated on the big screen, and I do like that quite a bit. The story is a simplified version of the manga version, and like I said, there's all the humor's taken completely out, so that can kind of be annoying, but also I can understand it, seeing that this is for a feature-length movie instead of a long manga book. So changes had to be made. That being said, that doesn't stop me from thinking this movie is an absolute classic. I do think it is a fantastic film. It is enjoyable to watch. The animation in particular is beyond gorgeous. It doesn't quite reach the Akira levels, but it is very, very close to there. I really love the animation. There are some iconic scenes in this movie that have either inspired me or have inspired other just people in film industries all around. So there's plenty to be gained by watching this movie, and it is a part of anime history. You just need to see Ghost in the Shell. So if I had to summarize Ghost in the Shell: Makoto Kusanagi, Bato, Monkey Face, Cyberpunk City, Kobe City, Newport City, Hong Kong, violence, gore, holy fucking shit moments, tons of iconic scenes, a pool that gets set on fire, that doesn't actually happen, and a hacker that's hacking people's minds, and nudity. 8 out of 10. Grant says check it out. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. I mean, please, we're desperate at this point. I am Grant for One for Review. As always, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.